Okay, so this is the start of lesson 3, and we were in this spreadsheet, and we're going to create some machine code to ask SPSS to go out and identify fire incidents that are associated with this first column of station identifiers. To do that, we're going to need a couple different packages, and we're going to have to manipulate some text and create some command instructions. So we're going to begin by copying this first column of all those kind of fire department identifiers. So let's click copy. Let's go on up into the corner and create a new workbook. And in that workbook, we're going to paste into the second column, so the B column here. Okay. In this column, we're going to enter a couple different text blocks. And so we're going to do FDID2 equals quotation mark, and then in the column C behind it we're going to do quotation mark, and we're going to do that long bar that's over the backslash, and that is an equal sign, or it's actually an or sign, I'm sorry. So let's copy on this. We're going to copy this all the way down to the bottom of that data. So we'll copy down all the way to 508, paste that. We're going to take this, and we're going to copy this one all the way down to that data again. Wow, it takes a long time. Okay, and then we'll paste. And so what we'll have is the makings of a good command structure. And remember that concatenate function that we used in SPSS. We're going to use it in Excel too. So all we're going to do is we're going to say equal to tell us that we're going to put a formula in this cell. Then we're going to do CON, and then that should bring up the concatenate function. We'll double click that. Let's see, maybe we'll just use concatenate. And then it's going to tell us, if we back arrow from this particular menu, we should be able to do this one, comma, and this one, comma, and the third one, comma. So we're going to concatenate columns A, B, and C. Let's click return and see if we get it correct. All right, so good. Let's expand this column out a little bit. So we told it FDID2 equals that one and an or sign. Let's copy here, and it's actually really important. We copied this one. We get to the bottom. Make sure that you paste, and just don't do paste special, just do paste, because we have to make sure that it is, escape out of that we've got the instructions all the way down. So this is good. So down here we have Florida identifiers. A little bit further down we have Missouri identifiers. A little bit further down we have Ohio identifiers, and everything's good. Okay, that's all fine. Let's do one more copy and paste. That's the formula one. Let's copy out here in a further, and we're going to paste special, and we're just going to put the values in. Okay, so this is the beginning of our command structure. Right? So this is the formula cells. These are our 3 data cells that we're going to merge. This is the formula telling you to merge it, and this is the output of that formula. So if you go all the way down here, we'll go all the way down to the bottom. And there's one little trick that we need to do at the very bottom of this. And so let's go down. Because this is going to be the last one, we don't need an or sign. So let's delete or from that one. And that's what we need to do in the initial stats and initial Excel sheet. Okay, so now we're getting ready to do a little manipulation of that column data in Word in order to get it in a format that will paste easily into SPSS. So let's go down here to this Word identifier. Just in PC, just open up a Word spreadsheet. It'll pull up. Let's just create a blank Word document. This is essentially all we need. Okay. From this file, one where we just created that one, and it's not the formula file, we want the pasted values, right? Let's click copy, and let's paste it into, so we can paste special here too. Let's do unformatted text and do it all okay. So you see what that did? It just pasted it in as a series of data that we need, instructions that we need, and it put in these return signs. Now, for us, when we paste this into SPSS, we can't have those return signs in there. And so what we have to do is we have to alter it a little bit. Okay, so from here what we're going to do is we're going to use the find and replace function. So let's go up to, it'll be on your edit menu, and you can go to find, and down here you can find replace. Let's see, we need to search a document, and in this, you're going to need to find the paragraph one. It's kind of that @ P. And then what we'll replace it with is just going to be a single space. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to look for all those kind of return signs, and we're just going to replace it with a single space. And let's replace all of these, and let's see what we got. So what it did is it took all those kind of return signs away, and then we have a one string function. If FDID2 equals this, or FDID2 equals that, or that, or that, etc., all the way down. And so we have essentially a 507 OR conditional statement. And this conditional statement can be pasted into SPSS, which we'll do next. Okay, so we have this particular set of command instructions that are going to be useful. Note at the very bottom here it doesn't have one final OR sign. Make sure it stops with the with this last one, and there isn't a dash in there or a long bar that tells it an OR. We just need to stop at that point. Okay, so let's minimize all this stuff. We're going to come back to this. Let's minimize that. Let's minimize our original data sheet and minimize this one. You might save those things, or maybe not. It's not that hard to create new ones, but it's probably not a bad idea to save them. Let's open up our, I've already got it open up here. I've got our original database, right? This is the one with 2 million lines of code in it. And we're going to use a function. We're going to use this select function, right? Select cases. So if you click on the select, it's usually the blue grid with the yellow bars in it. If you click on that, essentially what we can do is we can create these if-then conditional statements, right? So we could go in here. We don't want to select all cases. We want to select if this condition is satisfied. So what we would do is we would do FDIT2 equals, and then we'd have to do string the first one, which would be AK11. 1, 0, 0. And then we would have to do an OR sign, right? And then do FDID2 equals AK, I don't know, 11, whatever, 0, 1, if that was potentially a station. We'd have to do this for each 500 and level kind of, each of the 500 conditional statements that we want in there. So we don't want to do that. It's too hard and it's kind of a pain. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of trick the system a little bit. So from here we'll just do the first one is all, and we'll hit continue. We're going to select delete unselected cases. We have 2 million kind of observations here, and we can't filter these things out. We just need to get rid of them and get it down to a reasonably sized package. And so we're going to delete all those away. But instead of clicking OK, we're not going to click OK. We're actually going to click Paste. And in clicking Paste, we should get another menu that comes up. And so this is the kind of machine code side of SPSS. So from SPSS, you're going to have, this is the code that we need to fix. It's going to be FDIT2 versus equals that thing. So what we'll do is we'll just kind of delete that out. I'm going to go to that Word document that we had, and I'm going to start from this one, and I'm going to go all the way to the top. Okay. And I'm going to click Copy. I'll go back to SPSS. Let me just minimize this, and it'll take me back to where I need to be. And in this kind of space that we had, in between those two parentheses, we're going to click Edit and Paste, I think, is all I need to do is paste. And what that did is it put all those 500 entries in there. Right? So out here we've got the last one that we did was that Wisconsin code. And then we have the right parentheses, the right paren, and a period. If we kind of arrow down, we can go to, it starts with that first Arizona one that we're interested in, 08022. Okay. So what we did is we started with the selective, we deleted everything within those parentheses, and we pasted the command code that we got out of the Word document. And so that should work for our purposes. Now I'm working in Apple because this Camtasia video recorder works pretty well in Apple, and it doesn't as well in a PC product. So this is going to look a little bit different for you, but we have our good code now. All we need to do is ask the system to run it. So you should either have a column, a command menu that says run, or you should see it above in your PC instructions. But there'll be something along the lines of run all or run selection or whatever. And we'll just click run all because that's all we have. You could run selection and run whatever, but let's just click run all, and then let's see how long it takes in order to run this whole package. So let's click run all, and it's going to take a while. Go and look at how many observations we pulled from that command structure. And so if we go all the way down to the bottom, we're roughly, it's like 281,166. Now, there's always the likelihood that I could have made an error in the total somewhere along the lines, and you may too. But if you're getting that 281,166, then we at least followed the directions appropriately, and we'll have to kind of see how it plays out. Sometimes you figure out you have an error with the string. Again, you didn't import one as a string or something along those lines. You have to kind of go back and retool. But we'll start with that as our initial kind of sample size, 281,000 fire incidents.